Hey guys, welcome back to Flying in Space with Planet Head. It's been a couple of days, but I am rejuvenated. Not only because I've gotten a little bit of energy in me, but got a shower in and I'm good. Today is actually a day that I've been looking forward to for about a week to 2 weeks, um, because I get to get started with something new within Eve. So before I did this video, um, I went and grabbed a shower and I made a brand new pot of coffee because today I get to play a decent amount of Eve. Um, and I'm probably going to be making one or two or possibly three videos as the day goes along, but I'll span out the putting them out over the next 2 or 3 days. This is going to be kind of a prologue to possibly a series I'm going to do for a little while. We'll see how it goes. Um, and so what it involves is me living my scavenger lifestyle, um, with doing filaments for the first time. Now, some of you may have done those in the past. I have never done them. I've looked up just a little bit of information on them, but as I do them, hopefully it might cause me to be more interested in doing them. And but I'm going to be doing them through the lifestyle that I have within Eve, being that scavenger lifestyle. I'm not going to go out and buy a ship to go do them. I'm going to be trying to do them as I live off the land, which is kind of fun to do. And today is going to be showing how I've gotten to the point where I'm ready to start doing these. So maybe if you guys are out there, and this is how I keep interested and have fun with Eve all the time, and if it's a way of life in Eve that you guys like, you might want to try it out sometime, or just live vicariously through my stupid videos. I will be drinking a lot of coffee, by the way. It's a brand new pot. It's actually the last beans from my current batch that I picked up. So I actually have to go out this afternoon and get a new set of coffee beans. I'm going to probably try something new. I know this is not important to you, but it's very important to me because I got to have my coffee in the morning if I don't do that. So, in general, I am living out here in Curse. The way I live, and I'll try to keep this very short, is I live out of multiple stations. I moved this new character over here about 2 months ago. I did the 20th EVA anniversary event for a month with an Explorer, and grew it into being able to fly Tech 2 exploration ships. I fly the Helios right now. It's my exploration ship, and I constantly do that a lot. But recently, I have started doing some PvP. I created a simple corporation, not PvP, PvE, so that I can start getting some bounties, but also killing some battleships. And when I say a scavenger lifestyle, if you've never watched my videos before, I don't do mining and I don't buy ships off of the market. I do them. I kill rats and melt down the stuff I don't like, and build ships out of that. And then every once in a while, I might possibly buy a ship if it's like a Tech 2 or something like that, that I can't build and I never will be able to build, but very rarely would I ever do that. I'm not even sure if I've ever done that other than buying a second Helios when I got the first one killed off real quick. That's actually a perfect example. I did buy this Helios off the market because it would take way too long for me to skill up to be able to build my own Helios and get that stuff. But Tech 1s I really love trying out. The second part about the scavenger lifestyle is I only use items that I find off of the rats that I kill. So that's where I'm going to be doing that with the filaments until I get to a point where I need something more, which takes quite a while sometimes. So what I'm going to show you here is how I've got a little bit of that set up. This will be a prologue to later on today's, but actually it'll be tomorrow's video that I probably put out, hopefully, of doing the filaments for the first time, but how I've gotten to where I'm at. Now, number one, I need to use some of my ill-gotten gains from the month earlier before I forget, before I get off and moving. And get myself, I have a couple of the accelerators set up, the basic ones, and then I have a couple extended ones left from that 20 mission. So I need to get that going first so I can get my skills up and running. There we go. So that's going to go a little bit faster. Then I'll show you where I'm at here. Do I have... Give me 1 second. I am very surprised I don't have Dotland up. I am in Curse. And well, I guess you can see that up here, I guess. Curse. So I'm going to go ahead and undock here and fly over to the station that I'm at, where I'm building the ship that I'm going to be doing the filaments for the first time. Why is this a big day? Because it's the first time I'm able to produce a cruiser doing the scavenger lifestyle that I do out here. And good. I'm not going to warp to my undock. I don't need to. And I don't need to do that. Boy, it's been a little while since I've actually done videos. I'm not used to this. Let's go ahead and jump on through. And we'll go ahead and cloak up while we're flying. I'm not too worried about where I'm flying to. I fly this area a lot, and I'm a little bit off the beaten path where I'm going, so I'm not too worried about gate camps, that sort of thing. But if I were to see anybody in here that would red flag me to look out for something, then I would be a little bit more careful flying around. So one thing that you may wonder, and this goes along with, and here is Dotland here. Right now, and if you watch this video a year from now, maybe it'll be a historical thing. There is a huge instance going on in HiSec right now, where, and you can read about it, or if you haven't heard about it yet, there is a massive war a-brewing between a lot of the parties in EVE over some market buildings, large market buildings that are being attacked and that are up for being destroyed. And this was a big a big brouhaha out there, because people are buying and selling things in HiSec, and these were large factions who were making money off of that, who had gotten together over a couple of years to do this sort of thing, and they've broken apart. Now, why am I not doing a video on that? Because it really doesn't affect me at all. The way I play doesn't... I try to play as much as possible where I play by myself, and I try to do things where I'm less affected by outward other players with this character. Maybe down the road, if I were to join a corporation, a larger group or something like that, I would do that sort of thing. But right now I'm just focused on me, myself, and I. So to do so, I live out in either in different spots out in low sec and NPC null sec that aren't controlled by large factions. They may have groups that are in that area, but I can move from one area to another, or station to station. And if one area is teaming with some bad guys, I can go to another area. Example right now is, currently I'm living in this middle area of Curse with a few little jump point, a few little other areas here, but I've got some stuff up in the Great Wildlands. I've got some stuff over in Derelict. And then if I really wanted to, I could go back over to Syndicate if things got really hot out here. But recently I've been hanging out in this nice little area right here. I was just in this system. I flew over here, as you notice. No one is here right now. Nobody in local. There was just one guy here a little while ago. He was an explorer. But this is where I can sit back and produce a few things. And what I have done is I have blown up a lot of battleships, melted down the parts that I don't need, and today I am going to, and I put them in to build a Vexor, the basic drone cruiser a Vexor right here. So that's why, this is the reason why I've been waiting the last couple of days, is because I've been building up those parts so that I can do this. Now, this has been a little bit tougher than some of the other areas that I've lived in, because places like Syndicate and some of the low-sec areas, and even out in Stain, I lived there for quite a while, you have asteroid belts out there that you can kill a lot of battleships to get these parts. It's a lot tougher to do it out here in Curse because you don't have the regular asteroid belts that you can do that in. You're kind of living, there's a lot less that you can do that with. You can do it in some of the mining anomalies, and there is like one set of asteroid belts in each system that possibly has some stuff to kill. It takes a little bit longer. So I've been doing a lot more exploration while I've been slowly building this up, but I'm very happy to finally have built this first Vexor that I can use to test out doing the filaments. So we're going to jump into that here in a minute. But the first thing that I want to talk about was, let's go ahead and just write them down here. Well, that's the first part, is how to live away from everyone. So the setup. Well, actually, you know what, I'm meaning to do this recently is do a lot more of this. Free ships. Now, one thing I'm going to start doing with these videos is in the description, I am going to copy and paste everything that I write in here as the video goes along. Now, I did have some stuff pre-written up here, but I instantaneously got off script when I started talking. So free ships. How did I get out here and past some gate camps and things like that and be able to get some ships out here that I could do this with? Well, the first one was during the 20-year anniversary. It gave you some free, if you got to certain milestones, it gave you different free ships for getting to those milestones. And whenever you redeem those ships, it will give it to you in the station that you're in. I was able to, in another system near here, actually redeem a Gnosis that I got for free during the 20 mission thing. And so now this isn't the only way you can get them. You can get them through some of the the air career programs. Ooh, I got a bonus there. Let's see here. Claim manufacturer. I manufactured a cruiser. Yay. Ooh, I am so close to getting my, how much is that? Is that 100 million? 75,000 skill points. Nice. I'm so close to getting that. So you can get them through the air program. You can get them through special events that are going on. You can get them other ways. But what I was able to do is just download them from the free event bonuses here and then just drop that ship in. So I already had it out here. So sometimes I'll save those ships, and a lot of times they don't have a time limit here. So I'll just sit them there if there's a cruiser or a like a destroyer or a frigate that I want to have in a certain area. They're basic ships, but they're nice to have in areas that are a little bit tough to get ships out there. So what did I do? I loaded up a Gnosis. Then I went and used my Helios to fly back and forth between high-sec through wormholes and picked up some blueprints and also a few blueprint copies and started building the parts that I could put onto the Gnosis. Built it up kind of basically, very poorly. It's still built poorly, but even worse than it is now. But it was able to kill a lot of the ships that were out here as rats, melted those down, and now I'm going to be able to start focusing on that. I'm then going to start converting the Gnosis into a better ship that can rat out here while I use the ships that I build, starting with this first Vexor, to start trying and doing some of these filaments. So that's where I use free ships for. And that's what kind of makes it fun. That's where it's a full tilt scavenging lifestyle. Um, Now, you may ask yourself, why not just go through that wormhole and buy a Vexor and bring it back that's fully fitted out? Because I'm stupid. No, I like doing it this way. I like having the fun of building my own things. When I do it the other way, I find myself, and this is me, of trying to get to that next better ship as quickly as possible rather than enjoying flying the ships that I'm working on. Um, this gives me a lot more ownership of what I've built. It gets me to try out different weird things because I'm throwing items onto the ship that maybe I haven't ever tried. And it makes the game a little bit more fun. And I'm less dependent upon the availability of things out in high sec and the prices out in high sec, and I can just live my own life out here. And then I think it would be helpful if once I ever do decide to move out to nullsec in a group or something like that and live in an area and own it, that you are self-sufficient, that you can do that sort of thing. You've learned at the lower level, so whenever you do move out there and you're trying to build the bigger ships, you have a basic understanding for it. So long term, it could be good. So first one is free ships. Second one here is, okay, let's take a look at the Vexor. And how is this going to help me with this filament run? I'm going to be really brief on this one because we're not going to go into fitting and things like that. And I'm going to go over the very simple things that I know about filaments. And then that'll be filaments last thoughts will be the last things that I go over. Last thoughts prior to getting blown up. And what this is the few little things that I've learned about it so far, and I'm going to go kind of head first into it. But not being, you want to read a little bit so you're not dumb. And one thing I found out was very important with this last one here, that I need to make sure I do before I do the filaments. And if you've ever done filaments before, you probably already know what I'm about to say about that. But number one, let's just look at the Vexor really quickly. So, the Vexor, hey, I built it. Let's see, can I fly it? Have I gotten a cruiser level yet? That might be, you know what? I never even thought about that. I am level 5 in frigate. Was I smart enough to go level 3 in destroyer and level 1 in cruiser? So, before I get dumb, spaceship command. Hello. Galente hauler, Galente destroy. Aha! So I was dumb. I have not boosted myself up to Galente. I'm going to put Galente destroyer and come on. Boy, this is running slow. So I'm going to minimize the screen here. And I think that's all I can do at this point. So I got Galente destroyer, and then I need to buy Galente cruiser and get that up to level. Whoa, not carrier. Woohoo! That was almost dumb. And then I need to do cruiser. Buy and inject. That was almost 100, 1.3. I don't have enough, so very close. Okay, so cool. Maybe someday I'll fly out Galente carrier. That would be, if I ever do that, then that'd be awesome. Cool. Coffee's good. So number one, I need to skill these up. I do not want to skill everything. I just want to do the destroyers. So we are going to add skill points. I've got a little bit over 1,000,000 skill points in my bank right now. I do that on purpose for exactly these situations. If I was good enough and smart enough to plan these things out, um, then I wouldn't have to do that, and I can just put all my skill points in. Apply skill points. Thank you very much. Two. I'm really surprised I forgot to do this, but this is how we fix it. There we go. Now I'm only taking myself to level 1 because I want to try to do my first filament, which I've heard is really, really easy at the lowest level possible. So we got our filaments in, or our skill points in. We've got our Vexor made. Assemble ship. And then we're going to make this active. Good, good, good. There she is. There's our beautiful first Vexor we've ever made. It'll be the first Vexor we've ever flown with this character. Lots of things you can move on from here. Move on to a Vexor Navy issue. You can move into, is it an Ishtar? I think it's an Ishtar, or other ships. This is a great little ship. It's maybe, I really wonder where it ranks on the most used ships in EVE. There's a lot of frigates that are used, but as far as above destroyer, I would bet that the Vexor is one of the top cruiser and above ships used by everyone in EVE. It's just a very well-rounded ship. It's a drone boat. Really cool little ship. Do I have any skins? That's the most important part of this whole situation. Do I have any skins for this ugly little gray Vexor? Or are we going to be flying? I do. I have a Versus Blue Force from the last issue. Oh, that's pretty cool. That is a pretty cool looking. Okay. Good enough. So we got our Vexor. So what does the Vexor do? I'm going to just look at it very briefly as its skills. And then the next video, I will look at possibly how those skills go toward the filaments that I might be going into. I just hit the wrong thing. I don't need that. I just was here. We don't need that. Thank you very much. So show the info. So I'm not going to worry so much about this right here. It's armor and stuff. That will become important down the road, I think. But as far as what is its bonuses, it gets hybrid turret damage. And it does, its big bonus is a drone hit points. So it's a damage dealer. It doesn't have any armor protection or shield protection bonuses. So I may want to look at those before I start doing them. Other things to think about are its major bonuses are through its drone damage and hit points. So that's where I'm going to be dealing most of my damage. Whereas the hybrid turrets is a bonus to that damage. And if I remember correctly, and you can yell at me if I'm wrong, hybrid ammo only does thermal and EM damage. So any filament that I go into, I need to make sure that that's not affected by this, because this is where my bonuses are. Or at least compensate for that, since this isn't in my number one thing. I don't want to do any filaments that might cause my drones to be a problem. Boom. Want to keep that short and simple. There's a lot more involved with this, which I don't know about, which I will read up on, and you will learn as I learn it. Last but not least, we'll get into, where's my notes? That last part where I wanted to say, where it's very, what is that personalization? Skin R, super cur, induced nano coating. Oh, that's one of the new things that's coming out right now. This is for your structures. Not important to us right now. So notebook utilities, notepad. There we go. Last but not least, last thoughts prior to getting blown up in filaments. Using filaments. couple things that you want to look at with filaments that I read up on is they have bonuses and minuses for the areas that you go into. My understanding is that you have, once you use the filament, and I'm going to be really brief on this because I don't know a whole lot about it, but some major points of interest on this are when you activate a filament, you can either take one cruiser, and I might be a little bit off on this, I'm doing this from what I read a couple days ago, one cruiser, or you can take a group of 2 destroyers, or possibly a fleet of 3 or 4 frigates. If I'm wrong with that, please hit me up in the comment section, but I know I can only take my own cruiser into this. The second part of information on this, and as I do the series, we'll get more and more into this, is that there is a timestamp for the amount of time you can do this, which is what I find really interesting. You have 20 minutes to complete the filament area, which means destroy everything that's there. The tougher the area, the more that you can get from it. So the ones we're going to do at the beginning, I'm probably not going to get a whole lot of stuff from it, but it'll be good practice to go through. But you have 20 minutes to complete it. If you do not complete it, your ship, and most importantly, your pod, will be blown up. That is probably the most important part here, because I have implants on my current character. Before you do a filament, unless you are 1000% sure you're fine, which even then you might not even want to bother with it, because is it worth taking the chance for a 20-minute run? You want to fly what's called a blank character. I know. What's the? There's a name for it. I'll have it for the next video. Basically, a clone that doesn't have any augmentations in it. Currently, I've got some pretty pricey ones in there that I got from the 20-year anniversary that I worked really hard to get. I don't want to lose those. So if you do not get done within the 20 minutes, or you get blown up inside of it within the first 20 minutes, you will lose both your ship and your pod. And so you definitely want to do that correctly. Last but not least is, and I just read this part at the end of it, is if you are going to do a filament, especially in low sec and null sec, you want to fly out to an area that is not easily accessible before you start the filament. You want to go to a save spot and activate the filament from that area, because once you get in, I think others can get in and come after you, or if I'm wrong with that, I might be wrong with that, they can just sit outside of it, because once you complete that filament run, it will drop you back to where you started. And with that, somebody could then shoot you. I think that's why. We're going to find out, because I might be wrong. This is why I kind of have fun with these videos. And this is why I'm so jazzed to start these for the first time. So I'm going to make my mistakes. I will probably get blown up. But is it a deadhead? I think they call... I'm sorry, I might have just remembered. When you fly a clone that doesn't have any augmentations in it, it means you're flying what's called a deadhead. I think that might be the name for it. If not, hopefully I've just coined a great new phrase for it. And I copyright June 18, 2023. But I think that's the name of it. So, we'll get more into that in the next video. What I plan on doing before the next video is taking this ship, going into the parts that I have accumulated over the last month or so here. I've got my filaments here that I get to try out, but then I'm going to take these parts that I've gotten off of all the ships that I've killed and try to create a quick Vexor, not a great one, just something I can fly, to go in and do one of the lowest level filaments that's out there. And the nice part is about it, since I am an explorer, I get the filaments from doing the exploration, so that I can then try different types of filaments and do videos for those. So if this works out, this could be a lot of different little videos to show you guys what each one of them's like, then slowly grow from it and keep pushing myself till I die and I have to readjust. But I've been able to make some damage controls, but I've also got a lot of equipment here that I can throw on and try out. I've got enough stuff to do both shield and armor tank, projectile, and I can make some hybrid weapons. I have a few drones that I can make for this, and I'll just keep adding on to that. So that's where I'm kind of doing with this. In the next couple days, I should be pumping out a few videos on this. So I'm looking forward to it. I hope you guys are having a great weekend. And I've had a really good weekend. I got to see some family yesterday, hang out with the dog this morning. I'm going to hang out with the dog more tonight, and I'm going to play a lot of Eve. So, hey guys, fly safe, fly dangerously, fly however like you want. I will talk to you soon. Have a good one. Bye-bye.